Hey everybody, if you guys listen to my channel, my small channel on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts called the Sonic Road Podcast, I'm sure you're hip to Rick Beato's channel and his struggle that he's going through with Universal Records right now and those current copyright strikes that they keep hitting his channel with. It's kind of painful to watch, somebody like Rick go through something like that because he's such an educator and a lover of rock and roll and alternative and heavy metal music. I think there's a solution to this problem, and it's just simply to not play these major label artists on your channel anymore, man. I mean, if they're just going to keep smacking you, they're just doing the power struggle thing. They just want all the power and they want all the money. And anybody in this industry knows that a lot of the major labels are just banks anyway. And they don't really care about, the art form of, our beloved rock and roll too much anymore. Or at least it seems that way as an outsider looking in. I have a simple solution. I mean, my channel's small. We have a little over 2,000 subscribers and we are growing. We cover rock, metal, and alternative artists, some major, but a lot of smaller artists that are either completely independent or they're on small labels that have like-minded people that love their music and are working really hard to get it out to more people. A lot of these bands are well established in the underground, and it would be awesome to see somebody like Rick Beato start bringing these people onto your channel and interviewing them and playing their music, because I can tell you the underground needs help, man. And just like Joe Rogan did and still does with unknown comedians. He has unknown comedians on his channel all the time. And, of course, it's what's known as the Rogan Effect. An unknown comedian will go on his show and then they have a really good springboard for a future career in comedy. I think, Rick, man, you could do the same thing for smaller bands that have a small audience but need a help reaching out to a larger one. So, man, it would be great to see something started like the Rick Beato Effect, much like Joe Rogan, but with musicians. I don't think the major labels, when they're going after YouTube creators, deserve to have their music played on a channel with millions of viewers anymore, man. It just seems kind of sinister, and that's kind of my opinion. These are just opinions here. So, Rick, man, start the Rick Beato Effect. Have some smaller bands on smaller labels. I know you have in the past, but instead of play Pink Floyd, play a band like Pelican, or a band like Alden Witches, or a band like King Buffalo, or a band like Handsome Jack out of New York, or a band like Lowrider from Sweden, Greenleaf from Sweden. Check all those bands out. Check out their labels too, Magnetic Eye Records, Run for Cover Records, Stickman Records, Blues Funeral Records, and go through their catalog and then contact them, man. I'm sure they would be more than excited to have their artists and their music played on your channel and discussed. And, I'm not even saying do it all the time. Still have the David Gilmour's on. Of course, I would love to have David Gilmour on my tiny rock and roll channel. And hopefully, I can get to that level someday. We'll see. I mean, maybe not, but yeah, stuff those people on. Just don't play their music. Play the bands and the artists that are working hard out there and that need the exposure, and then you can help build their careers. And the next time they come on, your downloads will be even bigger than they were before. I think that's the righteous path to take. Yeah, check out the labels that I mentioned. Check out the bands. Check out their catalogs. Reach out to the bands that you're interested in. They're all, very good players, very good songwriters, and you'd have very good discussions with them, and you'd be doing a service for rock and roll. I'm not delusional enough to even think that Rick would see this video, so I would need help. So anybody listening or seeing this and agrees with what I'm saying here, watch it in context so you know what I'm saying and you get everything I'm saying in context. And, tag Rick in the comments below and, tag a band that's independent or on a smaller label or, maybe struggling and very talented, somebody that you love, and ask Rick to, talk about him on his channel, man. That's all I can say. Spread the word. This is about rock and roll. I don't get paid to do this. I have no affiliation with any of the labels I just mentioned. I have had several of these bands on. You can't forget Slow Mo, so you need to check that band out too. Another band, Temple Fang, both on Stickman Records, working hard. I've had all these artists on my channel. They're fantastic people, fantastic interviews. So rock fans, go check them all out. Rick, if you ever see this, go check all these bands out, man. Do the rock and roll world of service and start digging in the underground. That's where the spirit of rock and roll now resides. It just does. And, I talk to a lot of folks in the underground rock and roll world, and that's where it is. And everybody's out doing it for the right reason. So good luck to the major labels. They don't need our help, And there's still some really good artists on major labels. So, if you find them, support the artist. But if you find out their labels going after small creators and even large creators like Rick, man, I mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, this is about music at the end of the day. So I think I've said enough for now. Y'all go check all these bands out. You can check out the bands and my interviews on the Sonic Road podcast at the Sonic Road on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Support independent rock, support rock and roll. Take it easy.